Hello and welcome, Amudar Pratap Singh. Thanks for joining us on NewsX. We are, of course, bringing you once again another special episode of our NewsX Business World panels on the Indian economy. Yes, that's a special panel as always. Let me quickly go across the table and introduce them for you. So Swati Sharma, who's an MC, a virtual host, and a mind trainer, is joining us on the broadcast.
You host events and you're now a virtual host, but you're also a mind trainer. What have you done to be able to pivot in this environment, to be able to make up for the loss of hosting events by doing something else that gives you both professional satisfaction and a livelihood? Swati Sharma?
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Batra. First of all, I'd like to also congratulate NewsX and BW Business World for coming up with this idea, because we have all turned into netizens and screenagers, as Dr. Batra likes to call us. And wherever you see, people are saying, why aren't we discussing economy? Everyone is discussing, other topics, and there is very little talk of the economy, the most crucial factor. And coming back to Dr. Batra's question, so the first change, as you can see, that earlier I was an anchor MC, now I have added one more title, which is, one more title or one more job has come up in the market, which is the virtual host. So I've added that to my work profile. So that is one more thing that has come up in this lockdown period. We never knew that virtual industry would get such a good welcome. I think it's almost like the Zoom revolution. And I think BW Business World is a great example. You guys have not taken one day off, and you've not let your speakers take one day off in this. And second,
I keep saying, from Doom we moved to Zoom.
Yeah.
So, in the company or in my family. So I think that's very important. I still have a long way to go. But coming back to you, Swati, tell us the pivot. Tell us, has your loss of earnings from hosting have been compensated either by the training, coaching work you do, or by virtual hosting, or you turned a content creator in early 2019, you started a YouTube channel. Have you been able to compensate for the loss of income that came with hosting 15, 20 events a month?
Since we are talking about the impact of the lockdown, which is like outdoors getting strangled. So in that sense, I think speaking about the events would be more logical, because otherwise everything was anyways going on. So like these things are online things, like having a YouTube channel or getting YouTube revenue is very online. But I can assure you, even those revenues must have gotten affected, because when everybody is doing the same thing, obviously
and brands went on a pause. Now IPL is coming, now Diwali is coming, but brands took a pause in between. So
they did.
Were impacted.
Yes, you would know.
While the viewership grew of news channels, including NewsX, but
I'm sure. Yes,
but the revenues didn't grow in proportion. So you're absolutely right about that.
Exactly. So like more content means that everything gets divided in more number of people. And moreover, as far the outdoor events is concerned, it came to a halt. I don't know how people are able to keep up this smiling face. I can tell you that behind the strong like front that the whole event industry is keeping, we are pretty. I mean, it's not a rosy picture behind the scenes.
Oh, definitely.
But I don't know people's.
Are there revenue models though that have opened up for the event space? Through these virtual shows that we've been seeing, virtual events, virtual hosting, as you were talking about as well, Swati.
Uday, I will call it a good platform to use the time and the talent of the industry, but it's still a very small group, a very elite group. The production team, the laborers, the decorators, the hand workers, a lot of people are not getting included in this virtual event. Yeah. We are just creating setups, and even these setups are 60,000-70,000. But like the major job market is definitely completely shut down.
And Uday, that the event economy entails hospitality. We would fly to another city, we'd live in a hotel,
caterers.
We'll buy food, who will serve
Yes.
food at the event. And
Taxis,
Yeah.
talk about the fabricators
transportation.
who put up the physical. Do you think the events should be brought back with the same precaution? Maybe 50 people allowed, 60 people allowed, maybe 100 people, with all the social distancing norms and sanitization and masks. What's your view?
Please, please, please. The government needs to give us the regulation and let us go back to work. Tell us, okay, keep a place which has which can accommodate 200 people, but keep only 100 people. Something like that.
80 people be
People
are on
are
the side
like-
of caution. Yeah, clearly.
Yes,
And now the
give us
metros
the
opened in Delhi.
precautions.
Of course, with a lot of, the metros opened in Delhi with a lot
Yeah.
of riders and a lot of caution.
There are
Absolutely.
there are so many contradictions in the policies that are being given to people. In some industries, something else is happening.
Swati, of course, apart from being a host and you're also
Anchor
a
in life.
mind trainer. Yes. So I want now you to step into your mind coach role. There are a lot of entrepreneurs and of course corporate voices hearing the show as well today, and they have been through the lockdown.
Even though I have done the course and I teach people about mind training, I must acknowledge that this is overwhelming for all. Like even the people who are training and even the people who are teaching all these optimistic ideas. So at the end of the day, the thing that we always have been talking about, even before such a pandemic hit, is that the importance of your mental health, the importance of investing time and money into yourself, the importance of investing in getting to know about ways to grow yourself internally. Then when you're internally strong, then you can face a lot of problems, a lot of challenges in life. So at least now that you've been stopped, halted, by force. So at least now focus on, doing courses or reading material that will make you more knowledgeable about the machinery that makes you work, which is like people have the least amount of knowledge about the way our mind works. And, we get held up into patterns, into negative patterns, and they just spiral us down. So we take a mole and then we make a mountain out of it. Now we already have a mountain in front of us. So imagine what people will be doing to themselves. We torture ourselves because of the lack of knowledge of how the mind works. So I would, to all those people who are out there and who are feeling a little low, first of all, obviously you're not alone. Everyone is going through it. So this is not your personal failure. It's a challenge we are all facing together. Have a support system. Be close to your support system, and if you have to invest in a counselor, if you have to invest in a mind trainer, if you have to invest in somebody who coaches you to a point of good, healthy mindset, do it. It's going to be worth it. Don't think twice about it. Have your value for money, do your basic research, but do it. These things help you in such challenges, and you will bounce back stronger for sure.
Before I jump onto your question, I think I like to add to what Swati said. Swati, we all agree that mental health is very, very important for all of us. But in a country like India, the acceptance of mental health is somehow missing largely. So rather than telling people that you should go and seek mental health, that awareness that there is a term called mental health, there is a term called mentally being well.
Yes, we need to normalize this. We need to talk about this. Maybe we can have a segment for this.
That seem to be completely missing in a culture, in a society, and that.
In this point, I would like to add that doing too much yourself may overwhelm you. So that's where I say that sometimes your friends don't know how to handle you. Sometimes they're busy handling themselves. So it's okay to go and reach out to a professional. And that's where we need to make this normal.
Yeah.
We need to normalize the fact that you go to a trainer, you go to a coach.
Swati, when do you think the economy will be back? 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months?
I think to get back to the usual economy that it used to be before, I think 2 years would be a decent time. I'm taking a little bit of buffer because I am incorporating that input of people's psychology, consumer psychology coming back and bouncing back, and of course regulations are changing, so getting all that back. So I think 2 years would be a good time for getting back to the previous, but getting back, I think in next 3-4 months, we should start seeing more events happening. I already have inquiries of open outdoor events with, those 50, 100 people. There, people are planning those events in December, and then, the more and more they happen, the more and more people will, be like, we are tired of this indoor life and we want to like start living again.
And to ask you, when do you see signs of recovery? The positive outlook. When do you think it will begin by?
Recovery has already started, of course.
Yes, it has already
It's already started. Chandni has done an event, and
Yes, I did an event 2 days
Yes.
back.
6 weeks, we should have some positive activity happening.
See,
So
I
if we
must
are
give
here,
credit to
I would,
people.
yeah.
I must give credit to people that the moment unlock happened, people didn't stay didn't take too much time in stepping out and starting to buy. And even like the moment online sales opened up, I myself started ordering on online platforms like Myntra and Amazon.
Yeah.
So like people have like the consumers have started consuming to some extent, even Zomato. So I think people are somewhere done with it. They have reached their saturation point of being too cautious. So they are learning to balance cautious with living life, because you have to live.
Okay.
I agree with. I think it's the regulations that are unclear. Once people can get the regulations to be more clear, and people will step out longer, and that will also help economy when you are able to step out for a longer period of time.
Okay. Well, point taken. Thank you all so much for joining us today on this edition of NewsX Business World Panels on the Indian economy, and wish you all the very best. Thanks for being with us. Thanks to
Thank
Dr.
you so
Batra
much.
as always as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you
us.
all. Thank you
you.
there. Thank you,
Thank you.
NewsX.